Hello, everyone, and welcome to another lesson with Ralph. Hope you're fine, dear lovely IELTS candidates. I'm back again, and today we're going to talk about IELTS writing task 2. And our model answer is about dangerous sports, and it's an opinion essay. Today, we'll learn how to write a very good and well structured essay about opinion. Now, first, take a look at our question. People doing dangerous sporting activities like scuba diving and bungee jumping should be responsible for their own safety. Rescue workers should not risk their lives to save people doing those sports. Do you agree or disagree? So, the trick here is, do we agree with this idea that rescue workers should not risk their lives to save people doing those sports, or do we disagree with this? Now, in writing let's say opinion questions, there are three positions that we can take either of these three. All right, so we can take either of these three positions. The first one is that we should always rescue people doing extreme sports when they are in need. All right, this is one of the positions that we can take. Another position that we can take is we should never rescue people doing extreme sports when they are in need. And there is a third position in which we are going to take in this essay, and that is we should rescue people who have accidents while doing extreme sports, but we should also take steps to make this situation less likely, right? This is the position that we are going to take in this essay. Now, what are the ways of making this situation less likely? All right, so this is our position. The first one is that educate people who do extreme sports so that they can reduce the risk, all right? And the second way is to make it clear to people who do extreme sports that they will have to pay for the cost of their rescue. And the third way is to provide environments where people can do more dangerous activities more safely, right? Now, although it is possible to partly agree or partly disagree with the statement in the question, it is probably not a good idea to write from either of these positions because you would need to use contradictory arguments, all right? So that is okay if you totally agree or you totally disagree with the question. But what I recommend doing here is try to have to use contradictory arguments in your essay. That would be much better and well structured, all right? Now, first here, we have to write down some advantages of rescuing sportsmen and sportswomen in need. What are the advantages? Well, the first one is that it allows people to take risks, right? So this helps individuals become more mature and it makes society stronger. This is the first advantage. The second advantage is it benefits the rescuers. It allows them to feel valuable and allows them to develop vital skills. The third advantage is that it is morally right to help people in need. The fourth advantage is that we already help people in need, even when these people are responsible for their own suffering or difficulty. And the fifth advantage is that people feel happier when they live in a state which looks after its citizens properly, right? These are some of the advantages of rescuing sportsmen or sportswomen in need. And now, what are the advantages of making people responsible for their own safety? What are the advantages of this? The first one is that rescue workers would not lose their lives, all right? Because when they are responsible, when we teach them to be responsible, in this case, they will not lose their lives. The second advantage is it would be cheaper, all right, for them. And the money saved could be used to support the needy. And the third advantage is that people who do extreme sports would be far more careful and would learn to take responsibility. So in this essay, we are going to, let's say, take the position that we should rescue people who are in need, all right? But we should also teach them. We should also take steps to make this situation less likely. We should teach them to be more careful. So this is a kind of contradictory argument that we are going to have in this essay. All right, now we'll start with writing our introduction. As you know, the first part of the introduction, it's not necessary to write general statement. We can also start our introduction with paraphrasing the question. So here I will start writing the introduction with paraphrasing the question. There has been a massive growth in participation in potentially life-threatening recreational activities such as base jumping and rock climbing. So this sentence, participation in potentially life-threatening recreational activities such as base jumping and rock climbing, it refers to the question. As you know, in part of the question, that was people doing dangerous sporting activities like scuba diving and bungee jumping, okay? I paraphrase this part, all right, and in order to impress the examiner and change it to something like this, from participation up to climbing, all right? Now, the second part of the question was about rescue workers. Now I'm going to put them here. Each year, members of the emergency services refers to rescue workers, as we had in the question, right, have to put themselves in danger to save the lives of extreme sports enthusiasts who have had accidents. This is actually the second part of the question. So, because in the question we had two parts, and here we have two sentences, right, referring to two parts of the question. Now, the last part here is our thesis statement. And you know that in thesis statement, we have to refer to both sides of the argument or debate, right, and provide our position or opinion about the question. Now, because we are going to refer to both parts of the argument, I should start my thesis statement with a cohesive device with a word that refers to contradictory arguments, and that is whilst or although. Both of these words are correct here. Whilst some find this state of affairs unacceptable, right, I feel societies have a duty to look after even those who willfully endanger their own lives. So this is my position. I feel societies have a duty to look after even those who willfully endanger their own lives. Now here is, let's say, my idea, my position, and I'm going to support this position the rest of the essay, right? Remember something, today in this essay, we're going to have 3 body paragraphs, right? We are going to support our argument in 3 body paragraphs. So the first body paragraph here is the first point that we are going to write about. And the first sentence of each body paragraph is a topic sentence, and it contains a linking phrase to this thesis statement to show that the main idea, what is the main idea of the paragraph, all right? So the first point, worth making, this is a very good phrase here. The first point worth making is that, now here we should write our main idea. Risk-taking and experiencing danger ought to be encouraged. So I'm going to say that risk-taking has its own benefits. What are the benefits and advantages? We worked on the advantages of risk-taking. All right, now after that, I should write about risk-taking. What are the advantages? In order to become mature and well-balanced, we need to face a range of challenging situations and threats, right? Now, I can give some examples. For example, cavers and divers probably would not dare to attempt these activities if there were no chance of them being rescued. This is an example. Now, in order to impress the examiner, I'm going to actually write from my own personal life, right? An example from my own personal life. That is my cousin. So I can write something like this. My cousin, a hang glider would undoubtedly stay at home if he thought that nobody would look for him after a crash. This is a clear example, right, from my own life that I'm going to support, that I support my argument and position here. That I say, all right, that is the advantage of risk taking and experiencing danger. So, how I'm going to support it is by giving some examples. The example can be imaginary or from your personal life, but it needs to be short and relevant. All right. Now let's turn to our second body paragraph, in which we're going to write our topic sentence, and it should contain a linking phrase to connect it to the previous paragraph. All right. And it should also contain a phrase to show the main idea of the paragraph. So it should also be mentioned that. So this phrase links this paragraph to the previous paragraph, that we are going, all right, we are going to talk about another advantage. It should also be mentioned that those who help injured or stranded sportsmen and sportswomen benefit too. Now, I'm going to talk about the advantages of those people who help the injured or stranded, all right? So what are the benefits? Volunteers, members of the armed forces, and professional rescuers find saving lives both stimulating and deeply rewarding. This sentence is very important because sometimes you can impress the examiner by writing about specific people or groups of people. Now here, I have used three groups of people: volunteers, members of the armed forces, and professional rescuers, right? So this impressed the examiner, and the examiner knows that you know a wide range of vocabulary. So try to use different words that are related to specific people or groups of people in the society. And after that, I should support this more. These individuals feel good about themselves, knowing that they are making a valuable contribution. This is a very good and important grammar here. Knowing. That was because they know. All right. We sometimes make a sentence more complex by using the ing form to replace a phrase beginning with because. All right. So we omit because they know and we change it to knowing. Knowing that they are making valuable contribution. All right. For example, I'm going to make some sentences here in order to know this grammar point much better. For example, many move to the cities, believing life will be better there. So that was because they know. So we omit because they know and we change it to because they believe, and we change it to believing. Another sentence: some motorists get into their vehicle drunk, thinking that alcohol will not affect their ability to drive. The original sentence was because they think, and we omit because they think and we change it to thinking. This is a very good grammar point. Try to use this structure in your essay, right? Now let's turn to our third body paragraph. And again here, we should start with topic sentence, and it contains a linking phrase to connect it to the previous paragraph and also to the thesis statement, all right? And it also contains a phrase to show the main idea of the paragraph. Finally, I would argue that a humane society should not abandon those in need. Finally, so we start with a linking phrase. Finally, I would argue that a humane society should not abandon those in need. Now, I should support it. Going to the aid of individuals who are seriously hurt, even when they are responsible for their plight, is morally right. Right? Enlightened cultures do this already. So I'm going to give some examples here to support it. Smokers who develop lung cancer are treated. Careless drivers injured in motor vehicle accidents are given medical support. And those living in poverty receive financial aid from the state. So as you can see here, I have provided some examples in order to support my argument, right? Now, these examples relate to smokers, careless drivers, and those living in poverty. And I'm showing that society is responsible to help them, right? Now, after this, we should write our conclusion. Um, and in conclusion, remember, you need to write from a consistent position, right? And it is usually a good idea to start your conclusion with a statement which support your thesis from the introduction. In conclusion, I strongly believe that we have an obligation to help anyone in peril, regardless of the circumstances. So this is my position as I had in thesis statement. So I repeat it again. I paraphrase it here. I appreciate that adopting this strategy could lead to others being put at risk. But on balance, it is definitely the right thing to do. Why do I use on balance here? On balance can be used to introduce a clear opinion when you want to indicate that you have thought carefully about the arguments on both sides. So here it is a useful phrase because we have just referred to the opposing argument. Let's read this sentence again. I appreciate that adopting this strategy could lead to others being put at risk, but on balance, it is definitely the right thing to do. It is definitely the right thing to do. So I'm referring to those people who say that it is not a good thing to do, right? I wish all governments would subscribe to this enlightened and forward-thinking approach. And this is my hope or wish or suggestion or recommendation that comes in the last sentence of the conclusion. So as you can see, in opinion essays, we can either totally agree or disagree, or we can have a kind of balanced position. We can say, as you saw that here in this essay, we had the view that, all right, we believe that rescue workers should rescue those who are in danger, but we should take approach. We should take some steps in order to make this less likely to happen. That was our position in which we supported from the thesis statement up to 3 body paragraphs, and also in the conclusion part in which we referred to our position in our thesis statement. All right, guys, that was all for today. Hope you enjoyed this lesson and has been really helpful. Until next time, enjoy your time. Stay tuned and goodbye.